Okay.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on Goal Diggers today, and we're so excited for today's training. We have a certified color code coach. I think that's what you're called, right, Tammy?
Trainer. It's certified color
Trainer.
code trainer.
Okay, trainer. I love it. So I hope everyone has been enjoying taking the test, seeing what your dominant color is, and if you paid, then you get to see like kind of the percentages of the other colors too, which I think is super important. I paid for mine, and I just love what we can learn about ourselves and also working with others. And so I asked Tammy Ramsey, who is one of the certified Optavia coaches on the team, who is also a color code trainer, and to kind of give us some more details and some more insights on what we could learn from this and how it can benefit us. So I'm going to throw it over to Tammy. Tammy, are you there?
I am. So let me click on my screen here and get this going. I want to thank you, Amber, for having me on today. How do I move that to the side, though? Move that over there. Okay.
That's great.
Welcome, everybody, to the color code. I hope that a lot of you did pay to get your secondary color, because it's great to know your core motivator, but it's great also to know your secondary color, because a lot of the times the limitations that you have that might cause relationship issues come from your secondary color, really, because a lot of the times people just accept you more readily for your original color, your core motivator. Anyways, thank you all for attending this. We're going to get right into it, because I broke down this 3-hour workshop into a half an hour. So I may verbally throw up on you, but hopefully you're taking notes, screenshotting your screens on things that are pertinent. And first, let me tell you that Amber's exactly right. What this is about self-awareness and learning about yourself and what motivates you, and how that you can utilize your own abilities to then help and teach others and recognize in others maybe how to relate to them and talk to them, okay? So we're gonna talk about each one really quick. The core motives of a red are power. Their natural talents are leadership and vision, and they're very logical based, right? They're all about logic, and they're all about facts, and they're about here's point A and here's point B, and all I care about is I'm going to get there. They don't care about all the really in between stuff. Can you hear me now? Yep. Okay. So blues are very emotional based, and their core motive is intimacy. They really believe in relationships, very close, intimate relationships, and that's what they live for. Their natural talents are quality, and that's because they're kind of a perfectionist. So they are perfectionists. Everything that they do, they want to have quality, and normally it does have quality. They're service orientated as well. Whites are the peacemakers. They're the ones that in large families, there was probably always one kid that was in the middle going, hey guys, can't we just all get along? Can't you guys quit fighting? And they never wanted to really engage in the arguments, right? Those are your peaceful people. And their natural talents are clarity. They're very logically based as well. And tolerance. They tolerate all personalities. There's somebody that definitely gets along with everyone very easily. Last is yellow, which is what I am. Woo-hoo! We're all about fun. Our natural talents are enthusiasm and optimism. Yeah, bring it on. Whatever it is, we can try to make it fun if it's not already fun. So now we're going to delve in one by one, and we're going to, hopefully, I'm going to help you to learn how to relate to other people, either based on learning more about yourself and how you relate to people, or even recognizing in others what their core is and how you can help motivate your coaches and your clients. So Dr. Hartman says, healthy reds are the lifeblood of humanity. They are the movers and the shakers of society. If you have a red who is a client, they're somebody that's going to do the program fast and hard, and they're probably not going to stumble because they are going to get it right, and they like to have those those challenges. And they want to be the best at what they do. They're great leaders. Their core motive is power, natural talents, or leadership. As coaches, they're going to be your coach that's senior coach, and within a month or two is your executive director. Like, they're going to move up quickly, and they're going to be your business coaches. They have great vision, which is why I think Amber and Jared are both Reds, and so they both are great leaders and have great vision and lead us. Their strengths are they're decisive, so they just know what they want. They know what works. They know they know just the right things to do. They're very confident in everything that they do. So it doesn't take much nudging to help a Red coach. It just takes, like I said, A to B. Like, give them a map and say, here's where you are, here's where you want to be, and let them fill it out, and then they will take off with that and go, because they like the challenge, for one, and they will do the best that they can do. They're very assertive. They have no problem with there's somebody that would have no problem with calling people. Sorry about that. They have no problem with calling people and making conversations, because they want to do the best they can do. They're very responsible, and they're very proactive. So they're always the ones that are going to pick up the slack if there is any. Their limitations, they can be selfish, insensitive, and the only reason why they're insensitive is because they're so logical. There's no black and white with a Red. There's no gray. There's just black and white. So sometimes they can come across seeming insensitive, because you might be a blue and you've got gray all the time, and they just don't understand why you don't see that it's either black or white. They can be argumentative because they're always right. And usually they really are always right. They just don't think they're always right. They really are always right. They're impatient because they're always right. Right? And they're impatient because they want you to talk to them in their language. They want you to get to the point. They want you to be direct, and they want you to just quit farting around and just tell them whatever it is you want to tell them. So if you have a client, you just need to be very factual and to the point. And it's kind of a short-term deal with a client. You can dreamweave, but at the end of the day, it's what account do you want to put on your order? It's not whether you're going to do it or not. Let's just do this. And because if you've been factual with them and given them facts, they're on board. Let's remember that they're always right. We're not going to argue with Reds. So Reds need to look good technically. They always want to look good no matter where they go, whether it's a physical look good or it's just that they know their stuff. Okay. They want to be right? They need to be right. So they do a lot of research. They do a lot of education because they want to be right and they want to be respected. They want to attain approval from a select few. So what that means is other people that are logical thinking, that think like them, that are black and white, that are successful, then they want to get approval from those people that they have true respect for. Their wants are to hide their insecurities tightly. So if someone that's a Red that shows you their underbelly and shows you a little insecurity, that's taken years for them to be able to open up and do that, because they really do try to just hide that and just be this tower of power. They love to be productive. They are great in a leadership position. So most of probably our leaders in this company are Reds or have a Red secondary color. So that's very important too. You might be a yellow, but have a Red secondary color. So you might be a very good business leader because you know how to get things done. So a lot of the times, and by the way, how many of you took the test and went, I don't want to be red, or I don't want to be blue, or I don't want to be yellow? Like I did. Raise a hand. How many took the test and was like, I don't want to be that color? Like, we all think we want to be bright. We want to be some other color because it's so wonderful. But here's the thing. All of the colors, all of our personalities have great, great strengths. And throughout our lives, we have been shaped and formed by other people with strengths. And we've learned some of those strengths. So, and that's where our secondary colors come into. So very important. If you didn't get paid for that extra thing, you might want to do that. So back to the Reds. So they like to experience challenge and adventure. So if you're at a beach in Hawaii on vacation, and you're thinking you just want to kick back and chill on the beach, the red's going to want to be out on the surfboard riding the waves in, like learning how to surfboard because they've never done it. They like a challenge. As far as coaching is, give them a challenge, help them to set a strong goal for themselves, and they will meet that goal and be ready to go. What's my next step, right? Keys to relating to a red: present everything logically, whether it's a client or a coach. Facts and figures. If it's a client that you're trying to talk into the program, and you kind of know they're a red because of some of their behaviors, like they're pretty bossy and they always have all the answers. You just need to be like, hey, there's 20,000 physicians involved in this program. We've been around since 1980. Give them facts, figures. And like I said, at the end, hey, so it only costs X amount of dollars. Which credit card do you want to use today? Be direct, brief, and specific, right? Don't beat around the bush with a red. They just want to know the facts, right? They just want you to get to the point and get it over with. They've already made up their mind before you've probably even pitched the whole deal, before you've gone through the whole assessment. They're back on like line 3 going, yeah, I'm in. Articulate your feelings clearly, which is, again, just be direct and to the point. Support their correct decisions. Never point out that they're ever wrong, because remember, they're always right, and they really are. Do not argue with a red, because they like to argue. They really do. And down at the bottom, when you do argue, don't take it personally, because they feed on the argument, because they're going to prove to you that they're right. And 9 times out of 10, they will be right. So you might as well just, accept it. Don't be slow and indecisive. So when you're talking to a client or your coach, know what you're going to say ahead of time, pretty much. Have answers. If you don't know the answers, then you say, well, I'm not sure about that, and I'll get back to you, because they'd rather hear that than have you hem and haw and beat around the bush and try to wait for your mind to wrap around what that answer is. So you kind of got to have a basic plan of what you're going to do. So the health assessment's great. Don't wait for them to ask for your opinion, because remember, they're always right. They don't need your opinion. So they're not going to ask for your opinion at all. Don't take their arguments personally. We already went over that. So, and reds on your team, if you have a client and I would suggest you talk to your clients and get them to do this color code so that you can know what they are, because that'll help you to coach them better. If you have a red client, then again, you need to give them point A, point B, the steps to get there, but they will just flourish. But that's somebody that right off the bat, you should be offering them coaching, because they will want to be successful and they like challenges and they would like to do that. So that's somebody that, as a client, you're hitting them up right off the bat as a coach as well. How to recognize a red. Got to put some humor into this, because I'm a yellow. I'm not bossy. I just have better ideas. So, and it's true. They really do. They have a lot to offer. So blues, Dr. Hartman says, life cannot bestow on anyone a more gratifying reward than the sincere appreciation and trust of a blue friend, employer, or family member. I tell you, if these were animals, a blue would be a dog, because dogs are just so loyal. I'm married to a blue, so he is just the loyalist person ever. Like, you can't cross any family member. His core motive of blues is intimacy. So for yourself, you love your family, and you love those true connections, the emotional connections, because blues are also very emotional. Reds were logical, right? But blues are very tied to emotion. Everything is emotion. Their natural talents are quality and service, because, again, they're perfectionists and they want to do the best at everything they do. Their strengths are their caring, sincere, and they really are. Like, my husband can not talk to somebody for 6 months and remember that person's son, John, fell on a skateboard and broke his arm and had to have surgery, and goes, and how is John? Is his arm healed up? Like, blues are really caring, really sincere. And so remember that if you're talking to someone a client or coach who is a blue, they want you to really truly care about them and to be sincere with what you're talking to them about, right? They're very intuitive. Yellows love everyone. Okay. Everyone in the world is wonderful and can do no wrong. And blues are like the person that's like, ooh, I think that person might have ill intentions towards you, or I'm picking up some funny vibes. And so there's been a couple people that I've been like, oh, wow, yeah, I would have never guessed that about that person. And my husband is right on. So blues are very intuitive. And so they also know if you're feeding them a crock of crap. So just be totally honest and open. And that's a scary place for people to be open sometimes, but we really you just need to open up and truly show a blue your heart. They're very loyal. Like I said, they're like loyal dogs, and they're very thoughtful. Oops, went backwards. Limitations are they're self-righteous. And that's because they're perfectionist, and they will sit and learn everything, kind of like a red, but they want to be good. And that's what they just see their world as good and being as perfect as they can be. So they just kind of think that they're the cat's meow. They can be overly sensitive. So they don't understand sarcastic sense of humor. So if you're talking to a blue client, and you know they're blue because you'll recognize they're blue because they're worry prone, they're anxious sometimes, they can be judgmental. But if you're talking to a blue, you just want to be very genuine and don't joke around too much, because they especially sarcastic humor, they just don't understand and they think it's hurtful. They're perfectionists, like I said, so they want to do everything they're involved with, they want to do very well at. So if you have a blue client, they will do well on the program because they'll want to do well, but they're also going to kick themselves the hardest. They will be the ones that you're going, why won't this person call me back? Well, it's because they're so mad at themselves that they are afraid to call you. So it's somebody that you really want to reach out to and just send love, just constantly, and be authentic. They're very worry prone, unrealistic expectations. So as a coach, they might go, hey, I'm starting out, just signed up as a coach, and I want to be ED in a month. And, you as a coach might have to say, well, let's reel that back in a little bit. Why don't we just work for senior coach now? And then when you hit that, we'll go for the next one. Because again, if they set this unrealistic goal and they don't reach it, they will kick themselves for days, and they will kick themselves till they're bloody. Their needs to be good morally, to be understood. And their main thing is to be good morally, really. To be appreciated, and to appreciate them means to be specific with the appreciation. They don't want just, oh, thanks, I so appreciate your friendship. No, it's, I appreciate that you are so thoughtful. The other day you talked about John and his broken arm, and that was just so sweet and thoughtful. That you have to just be genuine and really specific. They want to be accepted. They want to feel like they're doing the things that are right, and that you love them no matter what, whether they're, good or not, which they are good, right? Everybody's good. Their wants are to reveal their insecurities. They hold their insecurities really tightly. They don't want to confess to you how they've fallen off the wagon and they gorged out on ho-hos this week as a client. And cupcakes because they had an emotional breakdown. But there's a part of them that really wants to tell you what's happened because they want to reveal that, but they're so afraid that you're going to judge them and think that they're not a good person that they try to hide that. But they really do want to reveal it. So if you love them enough and give them that openness to feel like they can tell you anything, then they eventually will. Of course, it took 20 years into my marriage, but it happened. They want to attain quality. They want to attain quality. Everything they do, they just want it to be just perfect and right, right? They like to be anonymous. They're great with going off and doing on their own. So there's somebody you could say, hey, fill out your map, and at the end of the month, I'll check back with you and see where you are, because they'll have busted their butt and gotten things done because they like to work alone. They like to have security. There is never enough money for a blue, ever. Even if there's a big, huge retirement fund, it's never enough. So kind of keep that in mind. So how to relate to a blue? You allow time for them to collect their thoughts. So you know how we talk about let's dream weave with our clients, and then pause for a moment and let them think about it and come up with their response? You might be on the phone with a blue for 5 minutes in dead silence. Okay, that's your first giveaway. You're talking to a blue. If you have dead silence in the phone, it's a blue. And you can say, are you still there? But still keep waiting, because they will give you a very thoughtful and very direct comment back, and they'll be able to answer your question. But they just are thinkers. They need time to think. When it's time to buy a new car for us, I got to lay out, I already know what I want, but I got to lay out the 3 other cars that I looked at, and I got to lay out all the prices and all the things, and then I got to wait 3 or 4 days for my husband to make his mind up on what we're doing. Again, show appreciation and be specific about what you're appreciating them for. Seek to understand them and be loyal. If you diss a blue, then you're going to be cut off for a couple of days, if not longer. Like they're pretty harsh. They're kind of our grudge holders. So blues don't need to be made feel guilty, because they're already feeling guilty, right? They are already, if something's not gone their way, if they didn't achieve their goal they set for themselves for the month, they are already kicking themselves so hard that when you call them, you better think of several good things that they did in the month that you can make them refocus on all the wonderful things that they did, because they have forgotten all of those wonderful things. They're only focusing on the one person they didn't get by midnight that night that they needed. So, they need to know they got 20 other people. Remember the 20 other people you signed up? So don't expect them to forgive quickly. Again, they're kind of grudge holders. Don't promote too much change. So healthy habits is a great system for a client or coaches for this personality, because you do one thing at a time, right? It's not like, boom, here's all this crap all at you at once. They're not, that you can't expect them to be spontaneous either. They're just not. They're very heavy duty planners. They like to have a plan, and a plan for a plan. How to recognize a blue? To-do list, worry, analyze, feel guilty, and repeat. And it is so true. So in my life, I'm a yellow and my secondary color is blue. So sometimes I'm bipolar. My husband is blue and white, and my daughter is red and blue. So she's also a little, she has that moment of I'm totally logical, and then 5 minutes later calls you back apologizing because she feels guilty because she thought she was too strict with you and harsh. And then I have a white son who was like our most difficult child. So speaking of that, we have whites. Whites offer us all a model for gentle human dignity. And they really do. They are, again, our peacemakers. They strive for peace. They want peace. They want everyone around them to have peace, okay? They avoid non-peaceful situations. Their natural talents are clarity and tolerance. And again, they're logic-based, okay? So they're very logical. So they're kind of like a red, but they're kind of like the way opposite end of like laid back red, right? So their strengths they are truly the kindest people that you will ever know. And they'll seem like the most, like they could be sitting in church and have the 5 kids that are bouncing off the walls and pulling each other's hair, and there's all heck breaking loose. And the white mother is just sitting there and just enjoying church and just enjoying that her kids are alive. Right? They're very objective. They're diplomatic because, again, they're always trying to be the peacemakers. So they're always trying to have everybody just get along. And they're very inventive. My son is a rap artist. He really is. He sold albums and sold singles. He's pretty dang good. But they can be indecisive. And that's because they want to people please, right? They want just everybody to be happy. So they're silently stubborn. So you might ask them to do something. Obviously, Kat has a white in her life, but so when a white can be silently stubborn. So they might tell you, yeah, I'll get that done for you. And days will go by and you call them again and go, hey, did you get your map done? Oh, yeah, I'll send that to you. And then days go by. So, and they might not have even got their map, or they might have their map done. They're just being stubborn because you're asking for it. So with them, great to fill out a map, but give them that, hey, Monday morning, let's fill out your, can I help you fill out your map? And can you want to get that done? And then Friday, I'll check in with you and see how you did. That might be a good person. If you give them a deadline, they'll work well because they work independently very well. They like to be left alone. They really do. They want to avoid conflict. They're unexpressive. You can be talking to White about the program. Inside, they're loving your idea. They're loving what you're talking about. But outside, there's nobody home. I mean, they might just seem like they could care less. But really, they got a lot going on. They can be detached. They are very much loners. Their needs are to feel good inside. Again, all about peace. To be given space, just leave them alone, let them do their thing, right? Whether it's a client or a coach, give them parameters, give them time frames, and then just leave them be. They need to be respected and to be accepted. They want to withhold insecurities to please their self and others, and they like to be independent. They work very well on their own, like I said, and they want to feel contented. And they're pretty much contented as long as they're alone and doing their own thing. So the way you relate to them is accept their individuality, create informal, relaxed settings, combine firmness with kindness. So always be kind to a White, but you do need parameters, like what even a client or coach, there needs to be a beginning and an end. There needs to be something for them to be responsible for. Show patience. If they miss a deadline, show patience and give them another couple of days. Do not be cruel and insensitive. Do not force immediate verbal expression. If you're trying to get a White to dream weave with you, they might be the ones that are also quiet, but they're quiet for another reason. They just can't verbally express what they're thinking. And that might be somebody that might work better with texting, actually, or an email. And I know that we're anti that, but Whites relate to that a little better. If you wrote them a letter that said, how do you feel about, this, or wouldn't your life be great if this, then they would actually respond back to you faster than if you just ask them a question face to face or on the phone. Don't overwhelm them too much or force a confrontation. So here's what it's like to recognize a White. I can see your lips moving, but all I hear is blah, blah, blah. Because they're okay with wherever they are and whatever they're doing. Okay, we're short time. Here's yellow. Yellow is my favorite one because I am yellow. Happy is as happy does. Yellow people love themselves because they know exactly what they love to do and they always find time to do it. Our core motivator is fun. So the other day, Jared had a gal on that he asked, what's your why? And she said, well, I want to be able to buy a house and redo it, remodel it, right? And he's like, yeah, but why do you want to do that? And she just couldn't get an emotion there because guess what? It's just fun for her. That's fun, and that's all that motivates her is fun. There's not really emotion to it, even though we are emotional people. Our natural talents, enthusiasm, optimism, like you want to have a yellow on your team. They might not be executive director in 2 months' time or whatever the speedy time is that a red's going to do it. But they'll get there, and they'll help bring everybody else with them because get everybody enthused. They're great to have at events. Their strengths are they're happy, they're sociable. I stood in a line in Disneyland, and Kevin had went to park the car, and I forgot my jacket, and I started up conversation with these people from Germany. And I'm like, oh man, I don't have my cell phone and I need my coat. And this guy's like, here, you want to borrow my phone? And this is after a 10-minute conversation with these people. So people just kind of open up to yellows. I don't know why. We're spontaneous, charismatic, inclusive. We're not all about the party for us. We want everybody to be in on the party. So it is somebody, just because somebody's a yellow, don't ask them, don't be like, oh, maybe I don't want a yellow as a coach. You want a yellow as a coach, because they want everybody to have this great feeling and this great life and to be feeling healthy and happy. Limitations, we can be uncommitted. So I'm going to give you my personal example, and Amber, don't judge me right now, but or Kat. So mine is, I really want to be ED. I really want to be ED. Well, then last month, it's 3 weeks of vacations. And how do you get that in there? So then I'm having fun. So then I'm like, I'll be ED next month. So it's like, I could do it next month because I'm okay. I'm having fun, right? We're disorganized. If you could see my office right now, I am a piler because I have to work on 10 different things at the same time. We're afraid to face facts. We don't want you to walk into our office and go, what the heck is this? You're so unorganized. No, don't tell us. Just walk out. If you don't like it, either organize it for us or walk out. We can be unfocused. I direct plays and do a music in the park deal, and everyone that works with me always says I'm like a gnat with ADD. If there's a squirrel, whoop, squirrel, like 2 seconds, I'm on to the next thing. We can be impulsive, which can be a good thing. Our needs are to look good socially, to be noticed, to be praised. So I can tell you this. I told Jackie, I don't want to be celebrated. Like, you don't have to celebrate me on the team transformation pages when I rank up, because, I'm better than that. I don't need that recognition. But deep down, I want that recognition. And then when I see other people getting recognized, I'm like, and I'm not being recognized. Sad me. Because really, my yellowness wants to be praised. So if you have a yellow as a client, there's somebody that wants to be praised on a continual basis. So, be sure to praise them. And if you have a yellow coach, praise them, give them a carrot of something fun, and they will go miles for you. They like to receive approval from the masses. They don't want to just be good and for one person. They want everyone to know how wonderful that they are. They hide their insecurities loosely because we will share them just to make you feel better. We'll tell you, what our faults are because we're human. We do want to hide and make you think that we got it together and that everything's okay, but it's not always okay. We want to achieve happiness. Like, our whole goal is fun and happy and to be free. And our way of playing is playful adventure. So if you give us something fun to do, we are there and doing it. So if you need goals for yellows, because yellow needs some little fun goals, it could be like, hey, let's go play volleyball. If you meet your goal this month, we'll go play some volleyball, or we'll go to the movies, or we'll go do something fun. How to relate to a yellow: always positive, upbeat approach, offer praise and appreciation. Now, we don't care. You can say, I just appreciate you for being alive, and we're happy. It doesn't have to be specific. Just appreciate our being. Encourage them to enjoy work. Don't make it seem like a work. Don't make things too task-orientated. They just want things to be fun, and they need to find fun in what they do. Encourage their verbal self-expression. Give them moments to get on a webinar and do whatever they do that they can share with you, because they will love that. Do not ignore them. So if you, especially a client or a coach, if you ignore them, that just breaks their heart. And then they start doubting themselves, and they go down this rabbit hole that's just not fun. But they only stay there for a short period, because we also don't dwell on problems. So if you're married to a yellow and you have an argument and you're mad at each other, you might stay mad and be mad all day, and the yellow's over at the moment it came out of the yellow's mouth. Like, we've said what we've said and we're done. I've moved on to whatever I'm doing next. Don't totally control or schedule their time. But also, in the same note, don't give them too much rope. So don't say, hey, let's fill out your map, and then at the end of the month, let's check and see where you are, because that's too much rope. They'll hang themselves. They either won't do it or they won't follow up and do the work that they need to do. Yes, I'm talking from experience. Again, I'm telling on myself right now. But you just need to be a little, give them parameters, give them a time frame to work towards, because they will get it done, because they want to be good. So here's how to recognize a yellow. Hey, it doesn't matter if you barfed, as long as you had fun on the ride. So it's all about the fun. So I know I went through this super, super fast. I didn't let you guys participate and ask questions. So now if any of you have questions, please feel free to answer, and I'll take that off of share. Oh, stop share. Maybe.
Tammy, that was so good. I think that it was so good for everybody. I don't know if you could see the chat while you were going. Were you seeing all the chats?
No, I can't see the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. I'll have to send you the chat because they're hilarious. But everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is me to a T, or that's my husband, or, or they're like, how many whites have lots of kids on this call? And they're like, me. So I think everyone loved this so much. It was like not even funny. Everyone's like, I'm going to listen to this over and over. I want the PowerPoint. I mean, this was amazing, Tammy. So I just want to thank you so much for the hard work you put in. This was so good.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. It was fun.
For sure. And I want to give Tammy props.
Oh, everybody's thinking. Now I see.
Now you're seeing it. Now you're getting the yellow love, right?
Yeah, I feel it. I'm feeling the love from everybody. Thank you.
That's awesome. So guys, I encourage you, if you didn't take your color test yet, go ahead and do that. And consider paying the extra $29. It actually gives you, I put this in the chat, but like a personalized list of like what your strengths and what your weaknesses and what to watch out for, not just on your color and your secondary color, because Jared and I are both red-blue. We had some things that were the same and some things that were different and what they told us specifically for us. And I thought that was really cool. So it's dialed in for you. And I think that's really, really helpful.
And that's part of the chat that we missed. Part of the workshop delves into, how who we're raised by affects our personality and affects our behavior, but never our core. So go online and get the People Code. They're available on Amazon. The People Code is Dr. Taylor Hartman's book, and it's all about the colors. And it is if you have limitations that you see in your personality that you don't like for yellow, the disorganization. Luckily, I have a blue that's a great example. I have become a list maker. That's the only way I can function in life is lists, day planner, calendar. I have to have lists. So if you want to take a look at your limitations and go, well, I really don't like that about myself, we'll focus on the strength, the opposite of that, and focus on increasing your strength in that area. Because you can't just go, yeah, I want to get rid of that. You have to focus on a strength in order to get rid of your limitation.
I love that. I love that, Tammy. Such good advice. And I want to point out also that there are leaders in Optavia and on our team from all the colors. And because it's exactly what Tammy just said, you can take your strengths and you can use those. And we all have limitations, no matter our color, no matter whatever. And it's about growth. It's about getting better. This is part of personal development, understanding what you tend towards and what you can use that for bettering your life. So thanks again, Tammy. You were amazing, and we sure appreciate you. Thanks for hopping on Gold Diggers, guys. Remember to print out that list that Jared put out last week. I emailed it to you right before this call and also put it in the groups. And we will see you on next week. And we are excited. We're going to start a sponsoring boot camp. It's going to be so much fun. And we're excited to help you with your goals. Connect with your mentor coach sometime this week. This is the perfect time, about the 20th of the month, between the 15th and the 20th. Perfect time to connect with your mentor coach. See where you're at with your map. See what it would take to reach that goal in the next week or so. And make it fun if you're a yellow. Don't get overwhelmed if you're white. Make a list if you're red. No, I don't know. But we sure appreciate you guys. We'll see you soon.